Hi everyone, we have prepared the latest market updates for November 1st, 2022. BP shows the second highest profit in its history. BP on Tuesday posted its second highest quarterly earnings in its history after another huge quarter for its production and trading divisions. The British oil and gas company said it would increase its dividend by more than 10% and added another $2.5 billion to its current share buyback program. Underlying earnings at replacement cost, the group's preferred measure of profitability, more than doubled from a year earlier to $8.15 billion, though the figure was down slightly from $8.45 billion 3 months earlier. Strong cash flow driven by sustained high oil prices meant the group was able to reduce its net debt, which stood at $22 billion at the end of the quarter, by another $800 million. That's down nearly a third from a year earlier, when many doubted BP and other major companies could get rid of the debt they took on during the initial phase of the pandemic. The company said its financial strength, combined with the current oil price outlook, means it expects to buy back about $4 billion a year in stock and has the ability to increase its regular dividend by about 4% annually through 2025. BP's shares rose 0.5% in early trading in London. Hodlnaut lost millions due to Terra's crash. Hodlnaut, the stranded cryptocurrency lender, underestimated its stake in the collapsed digital token ecosystem created by fugitive Do-Kwon and suffered a $190 million loss in the Terra's collapse. According to a recent Bloomberg report, Hodlnaut changed some of its assets and digital assets to UST earlier this year. The company lost about $190 million as the stablecoin exchange rate plummeted to zero. This year's crypto crisis began in May with the demise of Terra coins, the algorithmic stablecoin UST, and its sister token Luna. Hodlnaut's boards of directors did a U-turn about the consequences and informed the Singapore Police Department in a letter dated July the 21st that the digital assets had been converted into Terra USD. Directors of the lender's Hong Kong unit said the company suffered a loss of $189.7 million. Nearly a week after the shutdown, the company laid off about 80% of its employees and slashed interest rates sharply. Some estimates put Hodlnaut's assets at $88 million and its unpaid debts at $281 million, a ratio of assets to debts of 0.31. Oil rises as weak dollar offset fears about China. Oil prices rose more than 1% on Tuesday, cutting the losses of the previous session as a weaker U.S. dollar offset the expansion of COVID-19 restrictions in China, which increased fears of slower fuel demand in the world's second-largest oil consumer. Brent crude for January delivery rose 1.7% to $94.34 a barrel. The December contract expired on Monday, down 1%. West Texas Intermediate WTI gained 1.6% to $87.91 per barrel after having declined 1.6% the previous session. Benchmarks Brent and WTI ended October higher, posting their first monthly gain since May, after the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies, including Russia, said they would cut production by 2 million barrels per day. The dollar fell from a one-week high against a basket of major currencies Tuesday as traders weighted the odds that the Federal Reserve would be less aggressive at its monetary policy meeting Wednesday. A weaker dollar makes oil cheaper for holders of other currencies and usually reflects investors' increased appetite for risk.